Super happy to share that with you guys. So our main topic of discussion today is going to be on the law of allowing, and I'll dive more into that in a minute. But I thought a really great way, and it's kind of the way that I always get us started every Wednesday morning here on the show, is with a little bit of a guided meditation that I'm going to walk you through. And what I'd like to have you do is just, if you're in a safe place, let me be clear about that. If you're in a safe place, which is not your car driving, by the way, I'd like you to get comfortable. If you're sitting, if you're lying, just get comfortable and relax. And take a deep breath, really feeling the contact, whether it's your feet on the ground or your body lying on your bed or couch, wherever. And just feel that contact. Now just take a few more deep breaths, just like this. Really breathe it in, all the way into your abdomen. Hold it for a minute. Release it. Now I'd like for you to start by focusing on your toes. Scrunch them up and then release. Now relax your ankles, your calf muscles. Relax your knees, your thigh muscles. And remember, let any thoughts that you may have just float up and away from you in an air bubble. Now relax your buttocks, your pelvic area, and begin to notice any tension that you may have in your back. Breathe deeply in, and as you breathe out, slowly relax and release any tension you may have in your back. Now your shoulders. Lift them up and then release completely. Wonderful. Now it's time to relax your neck and jaw muscles. Take another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let go of any tension you're holding in your neck and jaw. Now finally, the top of your head. I'd like you to hunch your shoulders up one last time. And as you release your shoulders, any remaining tension can sink down and flow out of you. Terrific. Now take a few more deep breaths and enjoy this feeling of relaxation and calm for just a little while longer. I'd like you now to slowly bring your attention back to the room, back to your body. Begin noticing the sounds around you. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So how are you feeling? Isn't that nice? Such a great way to just kind of start your day and ground yourself, center yourself, get a great feeling going, positive feeling going in your body. Really feel that. Just a great way to get your day rolling. I like to do that. I do that every morning. And at the same time, I'm also writing in my journal, writing what I'm grateful for. I'm writing what I desire. I'm sending out love and healing energy to people in my life that I know are in need, people around the world that I know are in need. I send it out to Mother Earth. She's always in need. I'll also usually take a break in the middle of the day. I'll even put it on my calendar, actually, schedule it in. And when I do that, I take another 10, 15 minutes just to do another meditation. And that really energizes me in the middle of the day, which is great. And a lot of times at night going to bed, again, just to kind of to be grateful for the day and get yourself into a space where you're going to have a great night's sleep. Works great. It's just kind of a great thing to plug into your day, and it doesn't take a lot of time, you know? It doesn't take a lot of time, but really, I think certainly for me, makes a tremendous difference in my life. So let's talk about the art of allowing for a minute. Oh, for several minutes, actually. So the art of allowing is tied in very closely to the law of attraction, to certainly deliberate intention. When you're really focused on wanting something or attracting something into your life. But in the process of wanting, desiring, attracting, there's a key element, there's a key ingredient that to really make that all happen. It's called the art of allowing. It's allowing it into your life, right? Allowing it, whether it's love you're wanting, whether it's abundance, financial abundance, whether it's joy, happiness, it's you also opening the door and allowing that in. So, you know, the world often teaches us to control and strive and force outcomes. And what the art of allowing does is it offers, I think, a gentler, more expansive way of being. And I think it's one rooted in trust, surrender, and in alignment with, I feel, the natural flow of life. Spiritually, it invites us to release resistance. That's key right there. Releasing resistance. Be open to the present moment and embrace the unfolding of life with grace. Right? At its heart, I feel the art of allowing is the practice of aligning with the deeper intelligence of the universe. What some might call source, spirit, divine love, God. This alignment comes not from exerting effort, but from attuning ourselves to the vibrational flow of well-being that's always present. And it's the recognition that the universe operates in harmony, and when we let go of fear, attachment, or rigid expectations, life can unfold in ways beyond our imagination. So, allowing really doesn't mean passive surrender or resignation. It doesn't mean that at all. It's an empowered state of trust where we know that everything we experience, whether joyful or challenging, it's all part of our soul's growth. And by allowing, we shift our focus from controlling external circumstances and I think really cultivate inner peace. And this shift really does open up us to synchronicity, inspired action, and the realization that we seek. It's already on its way. Now, from a purely spiritual lens, the art of allowing is a journey of self-remembering. It teaches us to release the mental noise of the ego and listen to the quiet guidance of our inner being. And in this space, we begin to see life not as a series of obstacles to overcome, but as a divine dance, one in which we're active co-creators, gently navigating life's currents rather than swimming against them. And as we practice the art of allowing, we move from resistance to flow, from scarcity to abundance, and from fear to love. Life begins to feel lighter, relationships deepen, and we align with opportunities that resonate with our highest good. We learn that allowing is not a passive state, but one of profound faith, a faith that everything we desire is already ours, waiting for the perfect moment to bloom. As we allow, we begin to see that life's greatest gifts are not something to be forced or manipulated. Instead, they come naturally, just like the blooming of a flower, when we create the inner space for them to unfold. And in this unfolding, we discover the profound truth that we're really never separate from the love, joy, and peace we seek. They're within us, always ready to emerge when we allow them to. Now, a lot of this I got years and years ago from a book written by Esther and Jerry Hicks, two of my favorite people in the world, and they really give us the teachings of Abraham. Esther Hicks channels Abraham, which Abraham is a group consciousness. It's a group of I think, angelic spirits from the non... I'm actually reading here on the book's kind of just intro to the book, and it says, Abraham, a group consciousness from the non-physical dimension. Very non-physical dimension for sure. But this book, which has been out a while now, I think it came out originally in 2006, is called The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent, Living the Art of Allowing. And I highly encourage you to get this book. Pick this book up. It is part of a series that Esther and Jerry Hicks have written, along with the law of attraction. Ask and it is given. So whether you get this as a book where you're going to read it, or you can get it as an audio book, which is fabulous, because I think you can get even more from it depending on your learning modality by hearing it, right, rather than reading it, or even both, actually. So in this book, The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent, Living the Art of Allowing, it really does emphasize the importance of aligning your thoughts and your emotions to deliberately create the life you desire. And so the concept of allowing really refers, just like I was talking about before, refers to releasing resistance and trusting that the universe responds to your vibrational frequency. And it brings experiences that match your thoughts and feelings. And I really want to emphasize that. Brings experiences that match your thoughts and feelings. So if your thoughts and feelings are negative or fearful or angry, it's going to bring those experiences into your life. If your thoughts and feelings are joyful and love and excitement and happiness, it's going to bring those experiences. It's going to match that frequency. And the central idea really does revolve around deliberately choosing positive thoughts to shift your vibrational state, which then allows you to attract favorable outcomes. Right? One of the key quotes in the book, when you focus upon things that feel good, you attract more of those things into your experience. Always. Always. I think what I want to share with you at this point is I've got a audio track. It's from a video that on the art of allowing that Esther channeling Abraham did. So I think let's just play that and really take us into, in Abraham's words, the law of allowing and how to apply it into your life. And I'll see you on the other side. You're listening to, by the way, Wake Up Laguna with Rick Jorgensen on KXFM.
For more money, it goes into the vortex and it begins attracting unto itself. And your inner being, your soul, your source focuses on it for you and holds the frequency of it so that you can listen your way back to it, so that you can feel your way back to it, so that you can good feeling your way back to it. And once you get on the scent of it, once you get on the vibrational scent of it, once you hear or sense the subtlety of it, and you receive that first thought that matters to you, that first thought that's strong enough that you received it and different enough that you know you didn't think it. And that's really what we're wanting to talk with you about, is you getting into the receptive mode so you can tell when you're receiving from your source who knows about your vortex, or whether you're receiving from someplace else that neither knows or cares about your vortex. So for a while, we've been calling this gathering the art of allowing, the art of you figuring out how to allow yourself to be in the vibrational vicinity of the stream of consciousness that's coming from your inner being, so that you can hear the subtle at first. It gets louder and more defined and easier for you to hear. Rampage of information and guidance that is coming forth from your inner being. So you ask for it. Contrast caused you to do that. And Source answered it. But the answer of Source is vibrational and it's subtle, and you got to listen. And that's what step 3 is. You've got to get into the receiving mode, which really means you've got to turn off the receiving mode of I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that, and turn on the receiving mode of this is a simple thing for me to do. You have to turn off the receiving mode of what won't work and turn on the receiving mode of what does work. You have to turn off the pessimistic receiving mode and turn on the optimistic receiving mode. You have to turn off the hate and turn on the love. You have to turn off the confusion and turn on the clarity. It's very different frequencies. Every subject is really 2 subjects, wanted and absence of it. And sometimes, without even knowing it, you're tuned to the receiving mode of the absence of it rather than the presence of it. And then you say, why is it not coming to me? And your inner being is saying, not only is it coming, it has come. And not only is it real, but it is so real that we are projecting to you clear thought of your path of least resistance to follow your way right to it. And you say, oh, good, maybe. Oh, good. Then I will just beat a very fast path to the conclusion of this. And we say, yes, we want that for you, but we also want for you to understand that the path keeps unfolding, that it's like a pipeline that's got all the new stuff getting ready to manifest, getting ready to manifest, getting ready to manifest. Oh, manifest. Yay. But new stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. Yay. New stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. And how does the new stuff get there? By exploring, by having some contrast, by asking for more. It all fits together so perfectly for you. And start being willing to reach for the satisfaction of sensing it, of receiving a new thought about it, of being in the flow of it, which really means you want to lower your resistance. Because it's the resistance that's slowing everything down, and it's the resistance that doesn't feel so good. Now, resistance and contrast, how are they different? They're not so different. Contrast is important for you to know what you do want. You have to know some of what you don't want. Well, then, Abraham, weren't we born into an environment of resistance? Yes. Well, then why are you ragging on us all the time about having so much resistance? Because you make a career out of it. Because you stay stuck in step one. It's like going to the buffet, all of this food, lots of variety, and you look around, don't like that, and 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 don't like that. Oh, God, I really don't like that. Don't like that. I think I might like some of that. Get rid of all the other stuff because I only like that. Really, I only want this. I don't want any of those other things on the buffet. Please remove them. They're upsetting me. Please remove them. Get rid of all of them. Please get rid of all of them. Get rid of all of them. And the more you say get rid of all of them, they just come out with more plates of them. No. I said, take them away. Why are you bringing more of them? Take them away. As you focus upon what you don't want, more and more and more of it comes, because this is a vibrational universe that is based upon the law of attraction. And when you say yes to something, more of what you're saying yes to comes. But when you say no to something, more of what you do not want comes. And then you become a control freak, a failing control freak, because you can't control it. You just make yourself crazy trying to remove the things that you don't want because you don't want to see them. It might upset you. And we say, then look over there. I can't look over there because I know it's over there. I know it's there. I know it's there. And we say, so that's what introduces resistance into your equation. Step one is know what you don't want. Well, how long do you have to know it? Do you have to know what you don't want your whole life? Do you have to talk about it every day of your life? Your relatives do, we know. Or can you know what you don't want, which causes you to launch a rocket about what you do want, and then when source gets all over it, and the energy that creates worlds is focused upon it, and the vortex of it begins spinning and attracting the cooperative components, could you look over there? Well, you could, but you say, there's nothing to see. There's nothing to see over there. Look at all this stuff I can see over there. There's all this stuff I can see. I hate most of it. But there's all this stuff over here that I can see. And to look over here, I have to focus more than I'm ready to focus. And we say, so when you think about what you do want, when you launch your rocket of desire, this is a powerful vibration that is causing these vibrations and thoughts to turn to things. But every time you say, but where is it? You introduce more inability to see it. Every time you look for it before it's ripe. It's like putting the kernel of corn in the ground. The farmers do it every day. They put the corn in the ground and you've put yours there. And then you say, I'm ready. I'm ready to see you. I want you to become big, and I want you to have lots of ears of corn, and I want to eat you or sell you. I want to sell you. You don't just stomp on the ground in anger. All of you don't. You're not discouraged that it hasn't immediately become all that you know it has a potential of being, because you know there's a process. You know that there's a becoming, and we want you to accept this magnificent vortex and all that it holds and all that it has already become already, but you've got to tune to the frequency of it so that you, not somebody else, so that you, this matters so much so that you can translate it into something satisfying, and something else satisfying, and something else satisfying, and something else satisfying, and something else satisfying. It's like this fetus in the womb, and you are very happy for it to become and become and become and become and become and become, because you know in time it's going to come out where you can see it, where you can enjoy it, even in its infancy and being a physical manifestation. You trust that process, you understand that process, and this is the same. Haven't you ever wondered how the becoming of what has become has become? Haven't you ever wondered how that comes about? Do you see any pipelines trucking things in from other planets? Do you realize what your economy looks like in comparison with 100 years ago? Because you, as humans, have been turning thoughts to things. You are magnificent creators, but you suffer unnecessarily because you're holding out for the manifestation and then holding yourself in dissatisfaction through most of the process, and therefore slowing the process down and sometimes never realizing it at all. So we want you to feel from us the difference between An offering of a thought from source. In other words, let's call it a revelation. A revelation from source. In other words, your inner being knows what's in your vortex and knows where you stand in relationship to it and is revealing to you at all times wonderful ideas and suggestions and impulses that would lead you on your path of least resistance. And the reason that we say least resistance, your path of least resistance, is because you've put some resistance on your path, and it's all right. Your inner being knows where all of your hang-ups are and knows how to guide you around it. So your inner being is offering you these impulses. The revelation is happening all day, every day. But there's something that you've got to do. You've got to do step 3. You've got to get in the receiving mode. You have to be receptive. You have to receive the revelation. You have to allow yourself to hear it. So that means you've got to tune your tuner. You can't be focused on what you don't want and tune your tuner to what you do want. You can't be focused upon the absence of something and tune your tuner to the presence of something. You got to tune your tuner to the presence that your source sees. Ooh, have not said that to you that way before. You've got to tune your tuner to what your source sees, you little faker. So source, is there really a vortex? Is there really a vibrational reality you're so excited about? But I can't see it. So how do I tune myself to something that I cannot see? So you got to feel your way there, but you got to understand how it works. You got to understand that you are more than you. You are source energy and you are you. And you can't feel only you. You can't only feel only you because you are more than only you. Haven't said this to you this way before. You can't feel only you. If you could, you would not be miserable when you cut yourself off from who you really are. Look around your world. There are those who have cut themselves off so significantly from who they are that they are obviously miserable. Are you one of those? Because your inner being is aware of you and what you want at all times. It's like having a cheerleader cheering you on even when you're depressed and you say, get away from me. Get away from me. And if your inner being would get away from you, then you wouldn't feel so miserable because your misery is about the vibrational relationship between what your inner being knows about what you want and what you are actively offering vibrationally about what you want. That's your guidance system. So how do you tune your tuner? By caring about how you feel. By trusting that your inner being exists. By knowing that your inner being is real. By tuning to the frequency of your inner being. By carefully and maybe tentatively at first choosing a thought and choosing a thought and choosing a thought and feeling how the thought feels. By showing yourself what your inner being thinks about what you're thinking.
FM business member T.N. Turmeric, located at 1175 South Coast Highway, right next to the Sandpiper, can now also be found at the Farmers Market, opening up another opportunity to check out their spices, olive oils, wide variety of wellness products, as well as loose teas, gourmet gifts, and authentic Indian spices and teas made from treasured family recipes. Tea and Turmeric is open 7 days a week from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Their number is 949-715-9600. Tea and Turmeric.
Now open at the Academy Museum, Cyberpunk, envisioning possible futures through cinema. Explore the legacy of films like Blade Runner, The Matrix, and Night Raiders through production materials, costumes, props, and more. Tickets are available at academymuseum.org/cyberpunk.
Hey kids, I am back. Man, that was just, that was fabulous, that audio track from Abraham talking about living the art of allowing. Really, really special stuff. And just, I think the 2 points that I want to pull from there is, number one, your emotions are your indicators of how much of your source energy you're summoning in this moment by virtue of the desire you hold in this moment. Really important to understand that. And then There's nothing you cannot be, do, or have. You are a magnificent creator, and you are here by your powerful and deliberate wanting to be here. You truly are. I love the art of allowing, because I really think that for many of us, it's kind of been the missing link in how does all this law of attraction, rockets of desire, power of deliberate intent stuff work. I mean, I want this, or I want that, or I need this, or I need that, but it never, seems to happen. Or if it does, it's somewhere way down the line for me. And the art of allowing is what opens you up. The art of allowing is what opens you up to receive the good that is already there for you. It's already there. One of the things that Abraham has said before in the past, which I love, is we all have a vibrational escrow account. I love that. A vibrational escrow account. Think about what an escrow account is. Escrow account, you would, if you open up an escrow account, let's say you're buying a house, you put money in that escrow account, and it sits there waiting for a certain thing to happen. Well, a vibrational escrow account is simply, whether it's financial abundance, whether it's love, whether it's whatever goodness is out there, it's already sitting in your vibrational escrow account. But you have to raise your vibration to match that. And raising your vibration is part of the law of allowing, is part of allowing it, is dropping the resistance. Right? You've heard the phrase, whatever you resist, it persists. That's so true. And I know it's hard at times. It's really hard at times to step back. Things are happening in your life, and you're perceiving them as negative things in your life, and it's hard for you to rise above that. It's hard for you to set that aside in a way that you've dealt with it positively, but you're bringing more positive aspects into your life and more positive approach and positive thoughts to raise your vibration. Don't you want what's sitting in that escrow account for you? I know I do. Well, not your escrow account, but my escrow account, certainly. For sure. Let me put this track on right now that I absolutely love. And again, it's from my good friend, Angie Hipple, and some of her music tracks that she's put out there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But let me play this for you, and then we'll come back on the flip side and begin to kind of wrap up this hour on the art of allowing, and get ready for a very exciting guest, Angie's husband, Chuck Hipple, coming at the top of the hour. You're listening to Wake Up Laguna. I'm Rick Jorgensen, and let's have a listen to this.
Om Shanti, Shanti, peace. Judah Mama set us free. Every soul now shifting into perfect peace. Shanti, Shanti, peace. Sweet Lord Jesus set us free. Every soul now shifting happily into perfect peace, into divinity, into perfect peace, into divinity.
Beautiful. Really, really nice. Absolutely love that track. So, kind of wrapping up on the art of allowing, just a couple of notes here that I want to bring back into focus on the art of allowing. remember, allowing doesn't mean passive surrender or resignation, right? It's an empowered state of trust where we know that everything we experience, whether it's joyful or challenging, it's all part of our growth, our soul's growth, our inner being's growth. And by allowing, we shift our focus from controlling external circumstances to cultivating inner peace. And the shift really does open us up to synchronicity, inspired action, and the realization that what we seek is already on its way. And again, the art of allowing is a journey of self-remembering, and it teaches us to release the mental noise of the ego and listen to the quiet guidance of our inner being. And so in this space, we begin to see life not as a series of obstacles to overcome, but as a divine dance, one in which we're active co-creators, gently navigating life's currents rather than swimming against them, right? So when we practice the art of allowing, we move from resistance to flow, from scarcity to abundance, and from fear to love. Your life is going to begin to feel lighter, our relationships deepen, and we align with opportunities that resonate with our highest good. We learn that allowing is not a passive state, but one of profound faith, a faith that everything we desire is already ours, waiting for the perfect moment to bloom. And as we allow, we begin to see that life's greatest gifts are not something to be forced or manipulated, but instead they come naturally, like the blooming of a flower, when we create the inner space for them to unfold. And in this unfolding, we discover the profound truth that we're never separate from the love, joy, and peace we seek. They're within us, always ready to emerge when we allow them. When we allow them. So thank you for letting me share that lesson with you today. I really think that allowing is the key to everything. And I really think that once we open up to that, once we understand that, once we begin to really practice it, then life unfolds magically for us. It really does. Unfolds magically. So the book, The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent, Living the Art of Allowing. Check it out. Pick it up. Pick up a copy. And it really does. The book really does teach you to shift your focus and appreciate the power of joy and manifesting dreams. And it encourages you to adopt a mindset of trust and really ease in the process. It's got a lot of exercises, real life examples. It's a powerful book, and it's a practical book, and it's one that really, I think, puts you on the right track to opening up to allowing the great things that are already sitting out there in your vibrational escrow account. Don't you want what's sitting in that vibrational escrow account? I know you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. So it's just opening that door up to allow it to flow in, and it will flow in because it's already there. It's knocking. Wish I had something to hold up to the microphone here to knock, but it's knocking for sure. You just need to allow it and let it in. That's all you need to do. So if you want to contact me, you can do so at Rick at KXFM Radio. So Rick at KXFMradio.org. You can email me any questions that you have, any suggestions that you have for the show. I'd love to hear from you. You can always visit my show page as well. I've got resources there. I've got recordings from my past shows on there as well. And you'll find that at kxfmradio.org, and just go to Wake Up Laguna. You'll see my smiling face on there, and then you'll see the resources and you'll see the recordings. So check that out. I'm going to put on another track, and we're going to kind of ease into the 8 o'clock hour. I'm expecting Chuck Hipple to call in here in the next few minutes. So let's put on another track from his very, very talented, beautiful soul of a wife, Angie. And we will pick it up on the other side of the hour with Chuck in studio.
Maria WXRN-LP, Laguna Niguel, Laguna Beach. KXFM on 104.7, KXFMradio.org.
Hey there, what's up, Laguna? I'm Janice Murray with news. On Tuesday, October 22nd, City Council held a public workshop to provide an update on the facilities master plan. It focuses on our infrastructure needs going forward, both short and long term, for 18 facilities over the next 20 years. That includes Fire Station Number 1, the library, City Hall, public safety facilities, and parking lots. The plan will involve maintenance, repairs, renovation, or new construction. It will also provide a financial analysis report. Want to get involved? The city will be holding regular public meetings where residents can voice questions. To connect to efforts for the Facilities Master Plan, also called the FMP, just email fmp@lagunabeachcity.net. That's fmp@lagunabeachcity.net. And I'm Janice Murray for news on 104.7 KXFM. Tune in, turn on in Laguna Beach.
Janice Murray's broadcasts are sponsored by individual Laguna Beach residents who support public, nonprofit radio.
You are listening to Wake Up Laguna. This is Rick Jorgensen. I am super happy to be here with you on KXFM here in Laguna Beach. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. I have a very special guest that I'm about to bring on the line with us, but let me just give him a little bit of an intro. Chuck Hipple is a world-renowned energy healer with over 35 years of experience as a licensed acupuncturist. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hawkins map of consciousness, but on a scale of 0 to 1,000, his healing work calibrates at 995 on that Hawkins map of consciousness. Chuck was invited to treat President Obama during his term as sitting president and has also treated enlightened guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankara and many other notable figures. In his hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina, he's known as the Baby Whisperer due to his remarkable success in helping women with fertility issues get pregnant and deliver healthy children. Chuck's primary passion is energy healing and sharing insights that enable others to achieve a high-conscious spiritual life, and he's been a spiritual student and avid meditator for over 50 years and is a key source of wisdom and support for the Judah channel and Judah family worldwide. And I'm so happy to bring Chuck on the line. Chuck, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Was that me you were talking about?
That was you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it? Don't you love it when someone else talks about you and you're kind of thinking, wow, is that really me? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I've never heard it like that before.
Yeah, well
thank you for that.
Sure. No, absolutely. And that is that came from your lovely wife, Angie, sent that over to me. So that's great. That's awesome. So, Chuck, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And
nice to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we were able to make this work for you and get you on. I've been excited about having you on the show since Angie suggested it about a month ago. So it's really great to have you here. And for those folks that are out there that are listening that don't know, and then there's a number of people in the Judah family that I know are listening to this morning, Chuck. So shout out to the Judah family. But for those of you that don't know, Angie, who was on my show, my first show 4 weeks ago, is Chuck's lovely wife, and Angie does a show every Sunday evening, where it's kind of a different subject each Sunday. But one of the fun things is that she kind of starts the show out and welcoming everybody. But one of the first things she says, I'm joined here by my sweetheart, Chuck. So, and you never quite see Chuck, but you know he's sitting right off to the side because you hear his voice every now and then. So Chuck, I know that at times, you're kind of sitting there God-stoned, and sometimes words are tough when you're God-stoned, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So anyway, it's great to have you, and Chuck, I think by way of introduction, maybe it would be a cool thing for my listeners to be able to get a little bit more of a sense of your path, because I always like to talk to my guests initially about their path, their spiritual path, and I know yours goes a ways back. It's kind of funny when I was reading and talking about you have been an avid meditator for over 50 years. I was going to ask you what you were doing for all the other time up to that point, but that's kind of the same with me as well. So if you could just tell our audience a little bit about your journey and how you came to that point in your life where you really, the light bulb went on, right? You had that awakening moment.
Sure. So I was in my early 20s, and through some kind of amazing fluke, I made a lot of money, what I considered a lot of money at that time. And I had everything pretty much that I wanted at that point. The muscle cars were like the big deal in the late 60s. And so I actually had a car that was made for on the racetrack, not because I had to have the fastest and the most macho one. But anyway, so I didn't come from a very religious family. We didn't go to church regularly or anything, so I didn't get any real brainwashing as far as that goes. But one day, because I had kind of reached what's considered to be the American dream, but I reached it when I was in my early 20s rather than when I was in my 60s or 70s, and I realized that it was just all BS. It didn't bring me happiness. And so one day I just went in and laid down on my bed and just started crying, which was really weird for me. And I said, God, if this is all there is, just take me now. Just take me now. And so that opened up the door. I met somebody who had taken some spiritual classes, and she told me about them. And so I started taking them, and I found out about meditation and started meditating. And still the mind control was one of the things that I took, which was an amazing thing back then. And so then I spent about 6 months just reading spiritual books. My girlfriend let me live there without paying any rent, and so I didn't even work. I just read all. I just got involved, and I must have read hundreds of books on UFOs, all kinds of meditation, all kinds of spiritual things. And then I decided, okay, it's time to go to California. That's where the action is. So I head out that way, and I stop in. Found out that Ram Dass is going to be at Lama Foundation in New Mexico. So I plan to stop there, and I stop there and meet Ram Dass and have some time with him. And then I'm leaving there to go to California. And there's a young woman there named Sunflower who needed a ride to California. So I said, yeah, I'm happy to take you. So on the drive there, she started reading me this book called The Mustard Seed by, I'll call Sri Rajneesh. And I just fell in love with it. I still call him Rajneesh because that's who he was called when I was with him, but it's Osho now. But anyway, so I just fell in love with it. So as soon as I got to L.A., I went to the bookstore there and bought a bunch of his books, started reading them. I went down to San Diego. I found out there were centers all over in all the major cities in the world, actually. And so I went to the center there. And these people, I met these people who were followers, and they were just so full of life and loved having fun and dance and sing, and it was great. And they said, I had my VW camper, which I was sleeping in. And they said, just come sleep in the house. You don't have to pay anything. and they were just so nice, and they didn't preach to me about anything. And I kept saying, "How'd you guys get like this?" And they said, well, we go to India, every 3 months or so, and with our master. And so I said, well, who is this guy? This is Rashani. Yeah, you can go over there. I said, okay, I'm going. And so I went over. I got some money together. I went over there, and I stayed, 3 or 4 months, and decided, okay, I want to live here. So I'm going back to America. I'm going to make enough money and get everything together and come back and live here. So I did. I went back to America, got some money together, left thinking I'll never be back to America, and I'm going to stay in Pune, India. So I get back over there, and about a couple of months after I'm there, he moves to America. And so I'm there for a while. I got a motorcycle, and I traveled around India on a motorcycle for a while. And then I came back finally, and I'm waiting for them to get, another place, ashram together. And so they finally bought some land in Oregon and started what we call the ranch. And so as soon as they were ready, they were busy building places as fast as possible. Then I went out there, and I was there, 3, 4, 5 years, I guess, until Rajneesh left. And so it was like heaven on earth. It was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. It was unbelievable. But anyway, so then I decided to go to San Diego, and I asked the universe, God, whoever, what should I do now? And through a series of events that happened, I got the word to go to acupuncture school. So I went to acupuncture school, and I had an acupuncture treatment when I was in Pune, and amazing things happened there, but with the acupuncture. But anyway, so I kind of had it in the back of my mind, I'll go to acupuncture school, become an acupuncturist, and then I'll go over to Pune and I'll practice there in the ashram. So I got a license, but unfortunately, I never got back over there. And I came to Charlotte and started doing acupuncture 35 years ago, and I've been here ever since. Yeah, wow, that is an amazing story. And there's a lot to that story that if we started to unpack it, we could be here for the next couple of hours. But I love that, and I love that path that you were on. And I think I've got friends of mine that had similar experiences with some of the same folks that you had those experiences with. Matter of fact, here in Laguna Beach, and I know that that was kind of an amazing time during that time that you were spending. Whether it was in India or whether it was at the ranch or even in San Diego, and being exposed to that kind of that level of spirit, if you will. Right. So that's amazing. So, Chuck, talk a little bit about how. I mean, I know now in your practice, you're kind of stepping aside actively, but how did you then take that acupuncture, and how did you apply kind of the spiritual side of who you were and what you are to that in really, I think, expanding? I mean, acupuncture in and of itself is truly energy healing, no question, right? But yeah. there are things that I think you did to really kind of enhance the experience for folks. Can you talk a little bit about that? Sure. So eventually, what happened was after I was practicing for a while, I got tired of treating back pain and knee pain, and what I was discovering that I wasn't really changing anybody's life, in a way that was possible. And so then I found out about a course in spiritual acupuncture by Mikko Sankey. It was the first one he was going to do in Boston. As I said, great. The two most important things that I love in my life are acupuncture and spirituality. I said, I got to do this. So I did that course. And he had, now he has like 7 books, but he had all these different treatments, which were really amazing and powerful, which I started doing. And that was great. And I was doing that. And then for some reason, I don't quite know why, the Palladians came to me and gave me some gifts, gave me some downloads on how to cure some of the harder cases, post-traumatic stress syndrome and things like that. And so I got these downloads. So then, and also I always believed that I didn't heal anybody. I just tried to make myself a hollow bamboo and let God work through me. And I always use my intuition. I have very good intuition now, and my intuition would always guide me. And so then that started happening, and that was great. And some of the most unbelievable experiences with that. And so that's how that came about. And so eventually, unfortunately, what happened is I am almost 78 years old. But Judah told me that it was time for me to retire, that I needed to stop, and I needed to, because I'm going to need to support Angie more. And so otherwise, I'd probably still be doing it. And who knows when I'm going to be doing it in a month or two. I might be back there. So that's actually why I stopped.
Right. And talking about Angie and how you two met, part of that initial meeting, was it not that she was coming to you for treatments?
Yes, I had one of my patients who came for infertility, who was 50 and had a child, nice healthy child, with acupuncture, introduced me to her, and then she started telling me about all the problems she was having, and Western medicine wasn't working, et cetera, and I said, acupuncture can help with that, and so she started coming, and the interesting thing is that eventually what happened one time was she was channeling Archangel Michael, and he said that we had set this all up before we incarnated, that I was to help to get her back on path in this lifetime. And so after she started coming to see me, all these kind of miracle things started happening for her. And one of the things that happened after she got cured of all the different things that were going on, she got off all her drugs and everything. And I said, okay, that's good. You don't need to come anymore. And she said, no, I love coming. And so there's something else I can do. And normally I probably wouldn't have said this to somebody with her religious background, because she was, her father was a preacher and she was very much into, Christianity. But I said, well, there's this spiritual acupuncture stuff. And she said, okay, I'll do it. And one of the weirdest things I think that happened the first time is a lot of times when I would do these treatments, there would be some kind of amazing, unbelievable thing that would happen within 24 hours of the first treatment. And so I said to her, she was laying on the table there, and I said, you only allow the amount of love you believe you deserve. And it just came to me to say that, and I, into it, and I just said it. And I could see her in her face, and she kind of looked like, I don't know what you're talking about. So the next day, she had gotten a present from a bunch of their teachers who gave her a gift card to a very expensive store. And so the next day, she goes to this store to get something, and she goes in and she sees these shoes that are very, very, very expensive. And she goes and looks at them and says, I love these shoes. And her mind says, but, you never paid $300 for shoes. And she says, but I love these shoes and I want these shoes. And her mind says, but you never buy trendy shoes. But she says, I'm getting them. So so the clerk comes out, takes them down from the display, takes them back, puts them in a box, puts them in a bag, and she goes home. She gets home, she opens up the box, and on top of the shoe box, it says in glitter and fancy red, gold, and silver glitter, in fancy writing, it says, you only allow the amount of love you believe you deserve.
Wow.
And I think it had something like, this was like a long time ago, but I think it had like the word love marked out and shoes wrote in there or something. I think that's what it was. Anyway, So she calls me up and says, okay, I got it. And so I think that's kind of what would happen with some people is the hook. It's like to get them to continue, because things like that didn't happen every time. Spiritual growth is kind of a slower thing, because it's just like if people grow too fast, if they go up in consciousness too fast, it's like they can't hold that new level. So people would come in sometimes and they would say, oh, after the last treatment, I wasn't feeling like myself. I didn't feel like myself at all. So I went and had a couple beers and smoked a joint, and then I felt like myself again. And it's like, well, yeah, you weren't yourself. That's the whole thing. But so you have to learn to get comfortable with these different vibrations. And so anyway, so part of my job was to make sure that they went up at such a pace that they would stay there. So it's kind of a slower pace. So I didn't have those kind of results after every treatment.
Sure. But part of the process. So you had people come to you that had different things happening, both physical as well as I'm guessing mental symptoms as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and in each case, obviously, was different. And did you, when you would treat someone, certainly you're treating the underlying, let's just say, physical aspect of what they were feeling, right? Whether it's knee pain, shoulder pain, whatever it happens to be within their body. But at the same time, you were also treating them from a spiritual perspective. Is that right?
Right. So basically, what I've discovered over the years, and I've experimented with this, is that we create our own reality, and we created it consciously and unconsciously. And our unconscious mind has 95% of our power, and our conscious mind has 5% of our power. So most of our life is created by us unconsciously. And so if I really want to, and I don't know if you know about Bruce Lipton proving that people that got cancer were programmed to get a cancer. They didn't have a cancer gene, but he did some studies that are pretty amazing. But anyway, so I learned that, and the Palladians gave me a download of a treatment that I could change unconscious beliefs, because it's not too easy to change an unconscious belief.
Right.
We tend to have this protection. Once we have a belief, we tend to have this protection about this belief, because if we don't have that, then somebody comes to me and I say, hey, vote for Trump. He's the greatest. He's good. He's going to change the world. And I say, oh, okay. And then they go see their hairdresser, and her hairdresser says, vote for Harris. She's great. And they say, oh, okay. So there has to be some kind of protection. Otherwise, and when you create a belief, so the mind goes to protect that. And the other thing the mind does is if you get a belief that you'll never succeed because your father said to you when you were young, you're stupid, you'll never amount to anything. And so if you have this belief, then what your mind will do, your ego will create all these supportive beliefs to reinforce that belief. So in other words, what happens, like there was a time where I believed that I did construction for a while, and I believed that I would get people to do some construction work, and I would say, well, I could do a better job than that. And I got the belief that I could do a better job than the average construction person. And so what I discovered was what would happen is I would have two people that applied that gave me a bid to do a job, and I would unconsciously pick one that was going to do the worst job. So then after it was done, my ego would say, see, I told you I could do a better job. And so my mind's job is to make me right. And this is what happens to people. So unraveling all those unconscious beliefs and those supportive beliefs, that's the way, and using muscle testing is one of the ways that you can learn. And I would use what we call the superconscious, which is, their higher self or their soul or God or whatever. And so that's how I would unravel all that, by asking the superconscious, okay, what belief do I take on first? Can I take on the deepest belief? And what I found was the biggest belief that I would find in people when I tested them, and I very rarely find anybody that is this true: do you love yourself? and people do not love themselves.
Right.
It's unbelievable. We're not programmed. We don't know unconditional love. Our parents didn't know unconditional love. It's not their fault. We just don't know unconditional love. And so if somebody doesn't love themselves, then what happens later on in life? Well, I don't deserve to be in a good relationship because I'm not lovable. I don't deserve to make a lot of money because I'm not lovable. And so this is what happens. And so the spiritual acupuncture is about changing all of that and helping this person raise their consciousness. I would, when they first came, I would get a level of consciousness using David Hawkins' level. And then after about 3 or 4 months, I would check them again. And these people would go up 100 points. And Hawkins said only the average person goes up 5 points in a lifetime.
Right.
So they would go. So it was a pretty amazing thing. Now, there was only maybe 1 out of 100 of my patients that I would even bring up the spiritual acupuncture, because I'm in Charlotte, and it's a very religious place, and so I wouldn't just bring this up to anybody, and so it wasn't the majority of my practice that I was doing this on, and it also took me a lot more time when I was working with this, because a lot of times I would do with a regular person, I put needles in their knee, or fix in their knee, and I leave, and then I come back. I would get an intuitive feeling, okay, they're done, and I'd go back in and take the needles out. And it usually would be 20 to 30 minutes, maybe sometimes a little longer. Well, a lot of times with the spiritual people, I would, like one time this person, I got a feeling, okay, this is weird. So I would do a lot of times. I would have them come late at night, and so I had this one person come late at night. She's the only one there, and I do this treatment, and I'm in my office room, which is right across from the treatment room where she is, and we're the only two there. And all of a sudden, I start vibrating like crazy. I'm just really vibrating, and I'm thinking, ooh, this is not me. This is something going on with her. So I go in the room and I say, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm just vibrating like crazy. And I said, do you mind if I sit in this chair here and soak up some of this energy? And she said, no, I wish you would. So I sit there in the chair, and my eyes are closed, but I see this white form of her rise out of her body, rise up and go out through the ceiling.
Mm.
And now I'm vibrating like crazy, and I said, okay, I can't take this anymore. I got to get out of this room. This is too much. But I was paralyzed, and I couldn't move. And I thought, okay, they want me to stay. They want me to stay and soak this up. So just relax, try to relax, just stay. And so I don't know how long this went on for. I lost track of time, but then all of a sudden I could just tell she was back in her body. So I got up, I walked, and I said, okay, I'll be back in a minute. I wanted to go get myself together. So I left, kind of pulled myself together, and I came back. I said, so what happened? She said, well, I was vibrating like crazy. And then all of a sudden I just floated up, and I went to this place, and I don't know where it was, but I felt this unbelievable bliss and unconditional love. And it was just unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like that. I don't know how long I was there, and then all of a sudden I was back in my body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I would assume that over the years your practice has changed, and you now have people that know you or know of you that started to come because they knew that you were a spiritual acupuncturist, right? Versus just an acupuncturist. So
yeah, that kind of changed when I treated Gay Radev, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
Right.
After I treated him, all his followers started coming. They were coming from all over California, all around, and so that kind of changed then. That's when I had more of an influx of that. But the other thing is, I didn't really. Here in Charlotte, I didn't really let that known to too many people, because I have some pretty devout Christian people, very, very devout, and so, it's like, well, people say, well, don't treat them, if they have all this, because a lot of times some of these religious beliefs cause disease.
Sure.
I had one patient that would tell her daughter whenever she got sick, well, you don't love Jesus enough. That's why you're sick. Mm. And things like that. So it's like, but these are the ones that I needed to treat. These are the ones whose heart we needed to open up. And I didn't want to just treat one type of person. I wanted to treat all different types of people. And so yes, but I did. So after, towards in the later years, yes, I had more people that I was doing the spiritual treatments with. Yes, but it wasn't like something that I advertised or that was well known.
Right. You didn't have a billboard outside of on the highway coming into Charlotte.
Right. And the people that were doing spiritual acupuncture work weren't the kind of people that were going to be hanging out with the devout Christians.
Right.
So it wasn't like, hey, have you done this? It's like, what? That's the devil's work. What are you doing? So. Yeah,
but that's a really, I think that's such a unique perspective that you had, that you were in this community, or you're still in this community. You're in this community where there is a large population of Christians, right?
Right.
And probably fundamentalist Christians. So, for someone like that, telling them that you got these downloads from the Palladians, they would think that you're, you're the Antichrist, right?
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but that also put you in a situation where I think, to your point of saying, listen, if somebody needs treatment, they need treatment. That's what you're there for. That's your calling. That's what you do. And did you see? And I'm sure you have, because Angie certainly is an example of somebody coming from that background and then realizing and waking up to her true self, and from a spirituality standpoint. Did you see that in others? Not that was your job. Your job was not to wake people up that were asleep or had that religious fog in front of them. But did you see people, as a result of just doing what you do, did you have people that really woke up at that point?
Yeah. So what evidently we were told in school that we can. So somebody comes in and says, I have a bad knee. I want you to work on my knee. Then evidently that was all we could work on. We couldn't just decide I'm going to work on this person's spirit or their mental emotional state. So what I would do is I would say, there's a lot of other things the acupuncture can do. We can help you with, getting off the antidepressant. We can help you with lots of different things. And so get them to say, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah, I say, and there's other things we can do to help you be the healthiest person you can possibly be. Well, working on this, that covers the spirit. Helping somebody be the healthiest person they can possibly be means working on the spirit. So then I would have permission to do that. And yes, I would see people that would come in. One person came in, and in the very beginning when she first started coming, she talked about Jesus. Every time she came in, she would preach to me, and so gradually that went away. And when she first came in one time, she said that the Muslims have an atomic bomb in New York City, and they're waiting on they have to get permission from the higher ups in order to set it off if they're going to kill more than 3 million people. And that was like 20 some years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that she would come in with. And gradually, I was treating like probably, 20 people in her family. Because she loved acupuncture. She just sent her whole family, and she sent me lots of patients. And a lot of them, weren't like that. And so a lot of them would come in and say, yeah, she's really changing. She's not like she used to be. So, and she's been coming for like 25 years. And so anyway, yes, I would see those changes. And it got to a point where she would come in and she didn't talk about anything religious at all. And so yes, that was one of the things. And she just came weekly because she just loved it. And she came because one of the things that I would tell, one of the best things about acupuncture is it prevents disease. It can prevent cancer. It can prevent all kinds of diseases. A disease is a vibration, is a harmful vibration that we get in our body. And when I take pulses and I can feel these vibrations, if I feel somebody has a vibration that's going to cause a disease, because you don't get diseases overnight. If I feel that vibration and I know what points will wipe out that vibration, then you can prevent them from getting ill. And so one of the things I do to people is I can only do this with so many of them. I talk to them and say, okay, now that you're well, why don't you come once a month for maintenance to keep you well?
Right. So that's and I totally get that. I understand that a large part of it is just the maintaining that energy, right, in your body that will prevent any of the bad things from happening.
Yeah, there was a doctor in New York City. This was an article in I think it was Time magazine. And he was fed up with Western medicine. They said, we don't heal anything, and we have to hurry up with our patients. And he was walking in New York City, and he saw a sign that said acupuncture, and he said, I'm going to find out about this. He goes in and talks to the people in the waiting room, finds out they're being healed of things he can't heal. So he checks and finds out, there's all tons of proof that this stuff works. So he goes to acupuncture school 4 years, comes back, turns his clinic into an acupuncture clinic, but he only takes healthy patients because he says it's better to prevent disease than to treat it once it's there. Now, in New York City, you can do that. Here in Charlotte, you would starve.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, because part of what you're doing, obviously, is helping people overcome whatever the ailment they have when they walk in your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
And part of that is, one of the things that I look for is like somebody comes in and they're overweight. So the last thing you want to do to say to them is, you need to lose weight. They know that, and that'll make them not want to come back. So I treat them for that. And then when they come in, 5, 6, 7 treatments later and say, hey, I don't like eating all that sugar anymore. And I lost 10 pounds and I wasn't even trying. See? Now, I didn't add any stress to them because stress makes everything worse. And I see, okay, what I'm doing is working. And now they're building up some confidence and they're happy and they've made changes because I've changed the out of balance that made them crave sugar, comfort foods, if you will. So anyway. That's
and I really feel, Chuck, that you have this unique approach and this gift that you've been given. Certainly, you went to school for acupuncture, but adding that spiritual component and the gift that I feel that you have has been given to you by any number of sources, from a spiritual standpoint or from the Palladians that gave you those downloads to be able to do some pretty amazing things that I'm sure a lot of people would go, wow, I didn't even know that was possible, right? And until you got those downloads, it wasn't possible. But I can feel the support that you give to the Judah family and the support that you give to Angie, and it's interesting to me that Judah kind of the message from Judah for you was it's time for you to step back. It's time for you to take more of a supportive role for Angie and what she is doing and what she needs to do as it relates to working with Judah and that energy and whatnot as well, right?
Yes, and so one thing is yes, the Palladians did help me a lot, but what really gave me the ability to do that was being with Bhagwan.
Yes,
that's what that was. Those years that I had before I was 38 when I went to acupuncture school. So those years, if I had gone to acupuncture school right out of college, no, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And so that was a big piece of it. Yes, the Palladians helped, that, no doubt about it. And yes, the Judah said to me, she said, okay, yes, you're helping lots of people, and you're helping people one-on-one, but Angie's going to get to the place to where she can help thousands and thousands. So So what do you think's better? Helping thousands or
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, I'll stop.
Yeah. Wow, Chuck. Yeah, Chuck. It has been great having you on the show and having you share kind of your, not only your path, but what you've been doing and how you're helping people and really how that's changing lives. I love the fact that you are now kind of in this transitioning mode yourself, talking about what you just talked about you can help people one-on-one, and you can help a number of people, right? And you have over the years. You've helped probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people over the years.
Yeah.
But Angie and Judah have the ability to touch thousands and thousands and thousands of people
exactly.
in the moment, right? Just through broadcast and the YouTube videos and the teaching. So that's fantastic. So, Chuck, again, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm happy that I'm part of the Judah family, and really feel blessed to be part of that. And I'm happy that I know you and Angie, and I'll look forward to future conversations with you guys.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to more talking, and thank you for being a part of the Judah family.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chuck. Talk soon. Bye-bye. Well, that was a special treat. What a guy. I mean, it's just amazing. And, we didn't get into it with him because I really didn't want to, press him too much on what he did for President Obama. But that would have probably been a very cool story in and of itself. But very, very special guy. So let me take a quick break, come back, and then we'll start doing some wrap-ups for the show and talk about what we're going to be doing this next week. So I'll be right back with you. You are listening to Wake Up Laguna with Rick Jorgensen. I'll be back in a minute.
Amina invites you to experience their locally made fair trade boutique. Amina personally curates clothing, home goods, bath and body products, and even candles. Amina is located on 470 South Coast Highway, right next to Nick's Laguna Beach. They are open from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. AminaDesigns.com or on Instagram and Facebook at Amina Designs. Amina, perfectly curated pieces for the California lifestyle.
Hey, y'all, this is Ida Mae and Jason Fetty.
Hi.
Well, once again, we're taken to the airways, Jason.
Yeah.
To raise money for Laguna Beach's very own 100 mighty watt, locally supported community radio station.
Is that this station right here?
Right here.
Oh, my gosh.
Monday, November 11th to Friday, November 15th.
It's KX Takeover.
It is, and we're taking it over. Local Laguna Beach jocks will be coming in and taking over an hour with a guest and raising money for KXFM.
This is not crazy, egocentric, mad hosts on the radio. This is normal, ordinary people of Laguna. Your neighbours are going to take over the airwaves and be on the air, and they're going to be begging for money to keep this station alive.
So y'all out there, you know the drill, and you can either call in with your pledge or you can get on the website and go to donate.
Yeah, kxfmradio.org.
Take the fun in fundraising. Okay, that's enough out of me.
Thanks, Ida Mae.
All right. Thanks, Jason. So good to be with you.
Hi, this is KXFM meteorologist Dave Murray. Cool October weather in play, and that will last into early November. Plus, I'm seeing a series of low-pressure systems develop out in the Pacific, and they're going to come at us over the weekend. So the big question is, how much rain? Maybe. Still tons of questions. It's a real fuzzy atmosphere right now as far as how it looks. But let's think there will be at least some showers around over the weekend. Keep it on the table. So it's time to dust off the rain gauge. On this Wednesday, plenty of sunshine. Temperatures 66 at the beach, 67 at the mountaintop, the canyon, 66. Tonight, Wednesday night, the sunset is right at 6 o'clock this evening. Mostly clear skies. It will be chilly overnight, 51 degrees for the overnight low. Some heaters clicking on. Thursday, sunny skies, 64. Friday, sunny and 63. Saturday and Sunday, I'll call it partly sunny, but I do think there's going to be some showers around over the weekend, and cooler, 62 for high temperatures over the weekend. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 104.7, Laguna's Community Radio.
Hey, we're back. We are back on Wake Up Laguna. This is Rick Jorgensen. I'm so happy to be here with you. This has been a great almost 2 hours this morning. First talking about the law of allowing in that first hour and really getting into that and the power that the law of allowing has and can have in your life if you just allow it, right? So, and then, talking with Chuck and getting into some of the healing modalities that Chuck does, just amazing, just fantastic. Really, really enjoyed that. Enjoyed having Chuck on the show. He's got just amazing insight into, I think, certainly Eastern medicine, but the spiritual side added to that as well. Really, just I think takes it to another level. So, I've got another great guest coming up this next week, which I'll share with you later on social media. But it's going to be a really, really special time this next week as well. And I just really love being able to share with you guys and hopefully kind of help you on your journey as well. If you ever have any questions for me, reach out. You can reach me at rick@kxfmradio.org. You can always send me an email, ask me a question, connect with me. You can connect with me on Instagram at Social Rick. Social Rick is my Instagram handle, so you can connect with me there as well. You can also go to my show page, kxfmradio.org, and find my show page, Wake Up Laguna, and you'll see some resources there. You'll also see all of the recordings of my past shows that you can jump into if you like. So, as always, I've really enjoyed the time spent with you. I'm going to leave you with a couple of things. I'm going to leave you with my good friend, Katie. And Katie is going to take us through a healing meditation, and then we'll have a little music to take us out. But let's just go right into Katie. And if you're in a safe place, relax and just kind of let this flow over you and let Katie walk you through this. Thank you, Laguna. Thank you, world. Really, really blessed to have the show and blessed to have all of you listening. Love you guys, and I will see you next Wednesday.
So just tuning into your heart center, you can start to visualize that there is this rose quartz energy exuding from the center of your heart out throughout every cell of your being and out into the surroundings around you. You can imagine that this rose quartz energy is also seeping down through the core of your being, from your heart down to your solar plexus, down to your sacral, to your root, and all the way down into the core of the earth, anchoring you down into the earth. Antakia sikoya makoya satya shikia mkoya sawe antakia shikia tasaka. Antakia we antakia mukosotia shikiam tikoya samokoya we atishikiantia. Atakia shikindo his mikaya wasi. You are love, you are the embodiment of your light in this very moment. Antakia sitya shikia makoya sawe atishikia mkoya we antakia we. Sintakia antokoya sokoya we antakia we ampokoya we asatia shikiantia antokoya ampoko asia we. You are so guided. You are the embodiment of love. Who you are at your core is love. It is not anything else but that. You are the frequency of love. You are anchoring love on this planet. That is your soul's mission. That is why you are here, to anchor the light, to anchor the love that you are, and to instill that remembrance in other people's hearts, that you are simply love. Antakia siki antia koya mokoe, antashi antia kaya hasam koya we antaya, antakia we antia moe, sante hawe, ataki antokoya mokoya, seti antia shiki mokoya sawe, antakia we awe, antakia seti shiki antia. Again, imagining that this energy is exuding from your heart down to the earth, but even further out from your being, from your body into your surroundings, into your room, to wherever you are right now, all the way up into the sky, into the cosmos, connecting you to the infinite love that we really are at our core and all around us in this universe, in this galaxy, and on this planet. Shunta si antiama we antia shiki antio samakia we atakia shigantia mkoya saki antia we ata sari antio mpokoya we ataki. Santiki antia shikia mokoya satia shia. Remember your power, remember your light, remember the fact that you are a sovereign being in this life, that no one can strip you of your power, no one can strip you of the love that is anchored in your heart at all times. This is who you are at your core. No one can take that away from you. Antaki antia moko, antashia we atia mokoa, antea shi antia mokoya we, shantakia si antia mokoya sawi antia, antashi santia we. Remembering that all of your guides, your angels, source divine, your higher self, they are all with you at all times, and they are overseeing you, and they are here with you now, reminding you that you are never alone, that you are so supported on this journey, on this path, and in this life, and that at any time you can tune into your heart and you are connected to them. They are a part of you, right in your heart center, because we are all one, and so your guides are you, you are them. You are so supported by your team of angels, and by your higher self who is guiding you, because you are sovereign in this life, and your sovereignty is really what the reminder is that your guides want me to tell you, is that your higher self really is your truth. And at any moment you feel the doubt, you feel the fear, that is not love. So tuning back into that heart, into that love, is connecting you to your higher self, to your guides, to your angels, and to your highest timeline and your truth. Antashi antia mokoya saida mokoya we antia mo we asati antia shikia mokoya saya we antakia shante antaki aya we antaki antakoya mokoya sati. You are purity. Remember your innocence. Remember that childlike nature that is in your heart, because children are the greatest teachers in this life. They are the purest form of love. And when you remember that, you remember the inner child that is within you. You remember the love that you are. And there's nothing that can take you away from that. You are still your younger self. That pure innocence, that childlike nature and being is within you at all times, and you can tune into them at any time. Antashianti kemokuya santiawe antakia shikangia amboko sawe ayambokoya setiantia shata satakia koyawe antakia setia shiantia ambokoya we antia antae anti shante awe awe. Remember that you are love, you are pure, divine light, you are pure bliss, purity. You are the most beautiful energy at your core, and nobody can take that away from you. Tuning back into that color of that rose quartz within your heart, seeing that you are not only emitting that, but you are protected by that at all times. And at any moment you can tune into this color and remember that that love frequency is guiding you throughout your life. That you are in your sovereignty, you are on your highest timeline, highest mission. It is so, it is so, it is so, it is so. Shanti akoe ataki. Shanti asianti o ampakai asiati ashikiawe. I hope you enjoyed that beautiful transmission. Like I said, if you're new to this, I know it's a little interesting, it's different, but thank you for tuning in. I'm definitely going to start to record more of these. I hope that you enjoyed so much, and remember that you are loved, and that remember to drink a lot of water, remember to protect your energy, and again, if you need, visualize that rose quartz energy emitting from you at all times, because that is love, and you are love. And anytime someone tries to strip you of your power, strip you of that energy, and instill more fear or anxiety or stress or hate onto you, you're protected with this energy, and no one can take that from you. So remember that, and I will see you in my next video.